What's going on, guys? In this video, I'm going to teach you about support and resistance lines to help you become a better trader. Now, if you followed my channel, you know that I'm not really one to trade stocks or do short-term investments. I'm more of a long-term trader. But I think support and resistance lines are super important to understand for anyone. I'm just going to jump over here really quick. We're going to delete all of the drawings we have. Support and resistance lines are pretty straightforward. So say you have one line here and one line here. You can expect the stock to trade in between those lines and bounce back and forth until maybe it will break through one of the lines. And then once it breaks through this top line, which would be a resistance, the resistance tends to become the new support. Again, that doesn't have to happen. Past performance isn't indicative of future performance, but you could find patterns like this in the stock market all the time. And this could help you whether you're a short-term trader or a long-term trader like myself. So we're going to jump over to the S&P 500. And as I'm recording this, today was a pretty important day. It was the CPI report. It came in at 6.5%, and that was expected. So the market acted pretty favorably. You had the whiplash in the pre-market, but then it ended on a little bit of a strong note. And you could see year to date, we're in early January, and we've only been going up so far. We opened up around 384, and now we're up to 397. So we're seeing the January effect, some short-term gains there. But I personally think this is going to be the turning point. Maybe tomorrow, which will be today for you guys when you're watching this. If you're watching it when I release the video, I think the market's going to start to trend back down. And the reason why is because if we look at some support and resistance lines. So if we zoom out about the past 5 years, right here at the top, support and resistance don't have to be parallel with a horizontal line. They could actually be on angles too. And there is a very big resistance. Let's zoom in a little bit. We're on the weekly chart right here for the SPY. We could put a line right here. And let's jump to the daily chart. You could see that there is a very, very strong resistance that's happening at this line going down. Each time the stock will bounce down, it'll come back up, it'll hit this resistance, and then it'll go back down. It happened here back in August. As soon as it hit this line, I actually did a couple of put options on the SPY and the Qs, and then it started to go down. I made a quick little return that way. But right now, you could see before Christmas, before New Year's, we kind of had that same deal where it hit that resistance. We tried to break out. It was a fake breakout. We're going back down, and it looks like maybe we hit it again or we're about to hit it again. So will this be the pop that we're all hoping for, and this resistance could become the next support line? Or is it just going to act as a ceiling and then we're going to see lower lows? A lot of people will tell you that we're going to see lower lows this year, but we're all just going to have to wait and see. My guess, at least short term over the next couple of weeks, I think we'll start to trend downward a little bit. In February, they're going to raise the rates again. That's going to affect the market. So there's a lot at play. But even if you're someone who likes to look at the fundamentals and you really don't care about the chart, I think it's still important to at least understand support and resistance lines to know if, hey, is this a good entry or should I maybe buy in a week? Is it really going to make a difference in the grand scheme of things? Probably not, but it is helpful to know in some short-term plays like this one that I played back in the summertime. I pretty much picked the top, and then I probably sold right around here. It was an option trade. The option was up 100%. Kind of helped my portfolio, which has been suffering all of last year, just like everyone else. So this is just a current example, but we could go back in time. You could mess around with it. You could back test. Here's a perfect. Oh, let's not do that. That was weird. Let's just X out of that. I don't know why that happened. All right, let's go back to the SPY, and we're going to go back in time a little bit. So here we go. Right here, you could see that there was kind of a channel forming in 2019, and we could draw these support and resistance lines. So there was a resistance kind of right here. If we look at this, it hit that resistance, went down, And then we had a really strong support right here, and we'll make that one green. So you can see that there was a pretty good support. Maybe it wasn't meant to be exactly a straight line, a little bit more of a trend line. So let's actually delete that one. You can see that there's a clear trend up right here. It bounced here, went up, was chopping around, but staying on that support, bounced up, hit the resistance, and then hit the support again, and then it finally broke that resistance. But again, maybe the resistance shouldn't be a straight line as well. Maybe it also needs to be a trend line like that. And you can kind of see, now we're looking at a different picture. This is what the channel looks like. You can see after the end of 2018, we were kind of in this channel bouncing around, kind of the opposite of what's happening now. We zoom out, forget about these two lines, but you could see that we're in a channel going down. A couple years ago, we were stuck in this little channel all the way back here going up. Eventually, it broke that channel, and then we got to see higher highs. And then, of course, COVID happened, and then we went all the way down to Hades. But then it was able to go back up. So, and this isn't just with the SPY. If you're trading individual stocks, we could jump onto Apple, and you could find clear support and resistance lines. There's clearly a resistance right up here. And right now, if you're a short-term trader, Apple might be a decent play, of course, depending on the earnings. If the earnings come out not looking too hot, that could affect it negatively. But Apple looks pretty beat up. Apple could be maybe around some kind of support. And again, there's no real science to it. It's all a guessing game. You know, no one has a crystal ball. No one knows exactly what's going to happen in the market. But this is a great way to kind of make a good guess on when should you buy a stock. If you want to maybe jump into a short-term position, is this a good spot right here? And it looks like, okay, this might be some kind of support forming. We bounced here. We're kind of coming back down here. Maybe there will be a bounce and then it could go up. And then you may be asking, all right, if it is a bounce, when should I sell? Well, again, you could draw your resistance line, which would probably be a trend line like that. Whoops. Let's try that again. You could have a trend line going that way. So if it were to bounce, maybe your target could be around 165. If you want to be a little bit more conservative, maybe 160. If it could climb back up to 160, maybe then you take those short-term gains, you get out, and then let it come back down and rinse and repeat. You can keep doing it over and over again, obviously until the trend breaks. But I'd encourage you guys to mess around on TD Ameritrade. Mess around on TradingView. It's free to use. You can mess around with all of these different trend lines and regular lines, which is all right here. And you could find it on any stock. You could type in any stock, find some kind of support and resistance, and then see how it plays out throughout the days or the weeks. Or you don't even need to be that long term. You could look at support and resistance lines within the minute charts too. You could jump into the 1 minute or the 15 minute, and you could find clear support and resistances. And again, this is all to become a better trader. None of this is financial advice, but this is just more of an educational video. If you liked this video, guys, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And guys, as always, I will see you in the next one.